Hey everybody, this is Laird of Garskadden. Today I want to make a video response to Coffin666 and his video, If Life Sucks, It's Your Fault, which was a video response to Slick Cripple. Alright, I really wanted to excuse me, focus more on the ideal that was put forth by Slick Cripple, which is to say that no race should be celebrated over other races or discriminated. Man, I'm sorry. I had some good dinner. And no race shall be discriminated against. Basically all the races should be treated the same. I'm going to go ahead and put a label on that and just call it homogeneity, which is saying essentially all races shall be treated the same. And in this case, it's like no race shall be celebrated and no race should be discriminated against. It's a very simple, easy to understand philosophy. All races basically, bam, the same. I'm going to disagree there. I'm going to say, okay, look, homogeneity in the context of race is really dangerous. I think that that leads to a whole lot of problems, and that's, something that really should be avoided. I'm going to go ahead and say that I did a lot of research, read about 12 books, and wrote a directed studies history paper on the Armenian genocide, and the last years of the Ottoman Empire were spent basically trying to homogenize the Ottoman Empire, which was declining at the time. And the one of the faults, the reasons that the CUP basically came up with for the reasons why the Ottoman Empire was declining, was that there were so many cultures in the Ottoman Empire, and nobody had any identity as being Ottoman or as being Turkish. There was no identity, and for that Zia Gökalp and a bunch of other people worked really hard to try and create this idea of being a Turk, and it led to some really fancy, almost psychotic stuff about Turan and whatever, but I'm not going to go into that. Basically, there was pan-Islamism, pan-Ottomanism, and pan-Turkism in that order. And all that it was trying to do was homogenize the Ottoman Empire. Everybody is going to be Islamic. That quickly just disappeared, by the way. Like, there were plenty of other, things like, no, hell no. I mean, some of the people in the CUP were atheists, and they were like, fuck that, I'm not being Muslim. So they threw that out quickly. Then there was pan-Ottomanism, which lasted quite a bit longer. Everybody is Ottoman. And there was an implied, you're also Turkish. That meant everybody had to speak the same language, which was obviously going to be Turkish, etc., etc. And basically that was it. The Armenians fought it all the way. They were like, you're trying to destroy our culture. You're trying to say we can't celebrate our culture. I'm trying to map it over to the present, this argument right now. The Armenians are basically trying to celebrate their culture. They're trying to create their own television channel or whatever. We want our own culture. We want to celebrate our own culture. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. The Ottomans said that you can't do that anymore. And that when the Armenians said, no, we are going to celebrate our culture, we are Armenian, we have our own identity, we are Armenian, the Ottoman Committee of Union and Progress kind of viewed that as them betraying the Ottoman Empire. Aha, you are not an Ottoman, you are something else, you're alien to us, you are the other. You need to leave. We want a peaceful, homogenized, everybody is the same country, and here you are being a deviant. We're going to stop that deviance right now. Now, obviously, this homogeneity that you're talking about right now, obviously it's not that extreme, but this is like what you've got is the seed, and what the Ottoman Empire had is the tree. This, what you've got is going to lead to that. Say you have a completely homogenized country like America, and some culture comes along like the gays. They come up and say, gay pride parade. They stick out like a sore thumb. We are different from everyone else. We are gay. God damn it, we are gay. And you know what? There's going to be like, hey, you are against our culture. You should not be celebrating your race. You are a deviant. You are the other. Do you see what I'm saying? That as a policy of trying to be homogenous, of homogeneity, you end up discriminating against people who want to celebrate their own race. Homogeneity leads to its own sort of meta-racism. And in fact, I think it's a lot more devious than just plain old racism, because at least with racism in its plain form, it's honest. But homogeneity is very deceptive. It is racism, because homogeneity is it's its own culture by itself that says all other cultures should go away. Believe it or not. Now, here's the ideal that I want to propose, that I think should be the ideal. Now, I understand that this is an unattainable ideal. It's impossible. It's it's impossible. There's too many. It's an infinite number of cultures out there. But I'm going to propose heterogeneity. Now, in regards to it being an unattainable ideal, I want to quote Alfred Lord Tennyson and say, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, else what's a heaven for? The ideal should be beyond your grasp, so that you're always moving forward, so that you're always grasping and trying and struggling. The ideal that I'm proposing is I'm going to call it heterogeneity, and that's where all races are celebrated. Now, I think race in this context is a really narrow term. I want to widen it and say ethnic culture, because with race, what are you going to say? You're brown, you're yellow, you're white. Well, okay, that's great. What are you going to teach? I think it should be widened a little bit and say ethnic culture. I think that gay pride parade or gay pride, yeah, definitely keep that. Have you seen the movie Milk, for example, the struggle of the gays in California? Hell yeah, that should definitely be taught. Black History Month, very good. I think the struggle of the Jews for thousands of years should be taught. The Armenians, Tibetans, South Africans, and the apartheid, Aborigines, etc. I think all of it should be taught. Again, and I don't think everybody should be an expert. This is the ideal, the unattainable ideal. Not everybody should be an expert in that. No one's going to have the time, and that's impossible anyway. There's an infinite number. But I think everybody should be well acquainted with these other cultures, aware of what they had to go through, of what they struggled against, and what they accomplished in the end. And I think, and I'm targeting basically education. I think that every one of these struggles should have their proper recognition. It should be taught. I'm calling for a very huge boost in history education. Everybody should struggle to learn all of these different cultures, all of these different points of view, and what they had to go through over a very, educate yourself over a very long period of time. And this struggle to learn other cultures, this, I believe, will end racism. And the point being here, if I believe in heterogeneity and you believe in homogeneity, you are just another culture that I've learned. You are just one more among many of them, and I celebrate that. That's where you come from. White American, I don't know, whatever. That's where you come from. I celebrate that as being heterogeneous, whatever. Heterogeneity pretty much leaves no room for racism if done properly. If you struggle really hard to learn all the ethnic cultures, or as many as you possibly can, it's very hard for you to be racist and discriminate. That is the solution, in my opinion. That's the ideal. And those are my 2 cents. This is Laird of Garscotton signing out.